Today I'm going to first show how to do all this in Anaconda configuration on the Mac OS environment. And I hope for those who have a Mac or iMac or iBooks, whatever, and already have this Anaconda install. And you probably see that this by default, again, we have these base environment, and you should install the Jupyter Notebook for our class, or you can install the Spider for plain text type of program editing. On the Anaconda, you could navigator, you go to the environment, you see that now I have this my MIS environment 2 set up, okay? So I already imported all the software I wanted. And today I'm going to show you on the Macintosh how this is going to work, okay? How this is going to work. So we're going to create another environment, new environment called, I don't we call it my MIS environment 3. Okay. Make sure you choose Python version 3.8 for that regard. Okay, I know some of not many of you, just some of you have Macintosh. This is exactly the same as Windows environment. So create that. You see that they will automatically install some base software. Okay, if you want to ask question, you have comment, please identify yourself or turn on your camera so I know get my attention. Otherwise, I may kind of skip you. So you see that initially on this newly created environment, virtual environment, we only have a few library installed. So after we create this environment, we should go back to home directory. You can see that. And one of the things very important, you need to install the Jupyter Notebook first. Okay, we're going to do that. So before we doing any of the other import other library, we install the Jupyter Notebook first. It takes a few seconds to do that. Actually, quite a bit of seconds to do that, but it'll work. All right, Jupyter Notebook is installed. You see the launch instead of install, and you can launch Jupyter Notebook right here. All right, next things we need to do is we need to go through the import or the library we need for this class. So what we're going to do is go into shrink this, click on the empty space. Oh, not this, sorry. What did I just do? Oh, shrink this for now. I should be able to go to a so-called okay, go to this so-called Go, and you go to Utility, and or you can using the Command key, Shift, Command. Everybody see that? And you to get you to this Utility panel, you should probably see that there is a so-called terminal application. So double click, it will open the terminal for you, okay? Like we have right here. So this terminal situation, let's use this terminal. It's the same thing. So this is how you open a terminal in Macintosh. Again, we're not going to just using the click icons in Macintosh as well. Since you are an engineer, you can do better than just click on the icon. And we do, Mac OS is actually a Linux, different version of a Linux, and we're going to use their command prompt. Again, we're going to do conda, and first we're going to do conda update. If you don't remember, write it down. The name is space first, and the channel is -C is channel is default. This is exactly the same as the DOS command prompt we're going to show you in a minute. And then you say update conda. Okay, so update conda update using the virtual environment called base, using the channel called default, and update this. It will sync with the repository on the web and trying to see if there is any software we need to update. Okay, so yes, it will start updating. Since we just create this new environment called MyMIS environment 3, we're going to start activating that. So conda activate MyMIS environment 3. So you see the prompt actually changed from the base environment to the MyMIS environment 3. And also want to show you, go to our home directory. Oh, actually right here. I can see that from our home, my home, I have already down here. This is my home directory in a sense. And look at the, maybe a little bit bigger so you can see all of them. You can see that on the desktop, which is right here, I have this requirements.txt file copy on the desktop. It's actually over here, okay, on the lower right corner. Probably can see that, but it is in my desktop, okay? So I'm going to using that to install all my software. I'm going to shrink this for now, and make sure I'm currently in the desktop directory. So in Macintosh, Mac OS, we're going to do PWD. Is it stands for current working directory, present working directory, PWD. It showed me it's in my home directory user/chw, which is my home directory. So, and I can do ls to see that this is all the subfolder within. If you want to see the detail of the directory, ls-l, and you see that all together. Now I'm going to change to the desktop. I'm going to change to cd / represent current directory desktop. And I don't have to type all the way. Just hitting tab key will automatically complete for me. And again, I can see what are the content we have on the desktop. Actually, I see that there is a requirements.txt file. I know I currently in the requirement.txt file, same directory, so I'm ready to install all the components or library using that requirement.txt. Before I do that, I want to make sure the so-called PIP installation software is already installed. It's just testing. It says the package are already installed, so I can start using it. So pip install -r means reading a file called requirement.txt. Exactly like I will show in the Windows environment as well. Questions so far? If not, I'm going to hit the Enter key. It will automatically go through to install the software and all the dependent software, and based on that.
Dr. Wu, what do we do if we
Who
did
is
like
this?
content?
Who is this? Can you
Jansen.
identify yourself? Since you
Yeah.
guys turn off your camera, please, before you're talking, get my attention first and tell me what is your name so I can address you properly or knowing who was asking. Yeah, please, Jensen.
Yes, sir. Yeah, this is Jansen Penny. I put in conda install PIP, and then it told me that it like failed with the initial frozen solve, and then it failed with repo data, and then it just said it couldn't solve the environment.
Oh, okay. So you probably have a wrong version of Python install, and we stay with the Python 3.8. I saw some of the students have a wrong Python version. Remember when I go back to ask you to, where is it? When I asked you to do the so-called Anaconda environment and create that new environment, you specify using Python 3.8, okay?
Okay.
And you just have to do is go back to the Python navigator, delete that virtual environment you have real quick, and recreate another one using Python 3.8. It should work.
Dr. Wu, this is Jack. I have another quick question.
Okay.
After we run that file and it reads the requirements .txt file, if we move that file off our desktop or delete it, will that interfere with it? Or since it's already been downloaded and run through, I'm good to move it to another location?
Nothing. Yeah, you can delete it.
Okay.
Or you can save it somewhere else.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Dr. Wu, this is Hannah. I kind of have a piggyback question off of that.
Okay.
I see how you're supposed to download it and everything, but where does the TXT file have to be so it can be on your desktop? It can't be in your downloads. Like, where does it have to be for that to work?
What do you mean?
Like, does it matter where the file is saved in order for it to be read?
The same directory I execute that PIP things.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you mean?
I'm not sure. Basically, does it matter where the requirements TXT file is in order for it to be extracted? Like, can it be in your download still, or do you have to move it somewhere else?
Move it to any directories. Remember, I said I put it in the desktop. You understand what I'm trying to say? I put this in the desktop, but you can put it anywhere else, but you need to change to the directory. So currently I'm on my home directory and desktop. If I am currently in my own home directory, which is in the window, is also called user/ whatever your username is. If I move this to that folder, okay, if I move this to that folder, and I will get the same thing.
Okay. And just to clarify, it was PIP install /r requirements.
Mm-hmm. Question for me. Question for me. All right.
Hey,
So,
Dr. Wu, this is Nick Dagenhart. So I'll probably go back and rewatch some of this, but when I try to create my environment, I am having an issue where I like create it and I go to Python 3.8 and then it creates it and I can see it on my environments page, but then after it's done loading, it like just disappears. Do you know where that would possibly be going, or is it not working?
disappear. What do you mean disappear?
So like it'll pop up and then like in the bottom right corner, you had that bar that was like loading it up. When that bar is done loading, the only environment that I have is base.
Did they report any errors?
No.
Oh, you can actually close the, it happens to me a few times. Close the navigator, reopen it again, see if it's still already there. Otherwise, most likely you'll run out of your disk space.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, this gotta work, i.e. is show a student so many different computer, so many years, and it got it to work. So, all right. So you see this environment first, I created, okay? I can create 10 of them, and they should be right here. If you go back to the home, if you don't see it, actually should be in the pull down boxes right here, okay? I'm going to shrink this, go back to, I already created this environment. Question for me so far, if not, I'm going to show you how to start your home computer, different directory. Let me see if I have something here. Let's do the Finder. Okay, this is my Finder folder. Many times in this semester, you will probably do, this is your home directory, okay, go on. And this is the entire home directory you have, especially in Macintosh or in your PC is the same thing. You can go to your desktop. For me, many times I want to organize all my files, notebook, Jupyter Notebook, online Jupyter Notebook files, class notes, or anything, homework assignment I did, I'm doing, the project I'm doing in the same folder. So what we do is we're going to create a new folder, and you probably know how to do this on PC as well. If you working with me right now, just create a new folders on your desktop. I'm sure people know how to do this, and I'm going to rename this folder. For example, I'm going to do a folder called IMSE 685 Spring 2021 folder. This is going to be the place I'm going to organize all my file, all my homework I'm going to turn in, all the downloaded Jupyter Notebook handout I have for this semester. All right. And I want to be able to access this folder from Jupyter Notebook. So what do I do for this? If I using this MIS3 environment, I launch the Jupyter Notebook. Okay, it start running. Will give me a web browser. Starting by default is my home directory. Everybody see this? Okay. I will do this one more time in the Windows in a minute, but now I want you to see this going. All right, so once this is pulled up, you see that there is a desktop folder within my home directory, and you see there is a what? IMSE 685 Spring 2021, and I can download everything over here. Make sense? Make sense? So I'm going to exercise this once again. I'm going to go open one of folder called Canvas. I'm going to Canvas. Okay, stay. Log in. All right. Let me log in. Go into the 685 class, goes to the course module, for example, go through one of these folders, Jupyter Notebook. All the Jupyter Notebook is extensions .pymb is stand for IPython Notebook. Okay. For you, for this particular machine learning prerequisite, we're going to go over next week, this week, Thursday, has all the notebook in this zip file. You can download it, unzip it in that. So now I'm just going to download one of those, okay? So I'm going to download that, showing in the Finder, which is this notebook. So I'm going to make a copy, okay? This is download folder. I'm going to cut and goes to my desktop. I'm at 685. I'm going to paste right here. Oop, why is that? Download folder, make a copy, goes to my desktop. Paste item here. So now I have it in my IMSE 685 folder. You see that showing up right here, and you can click it. So you can pull it up. Everybody okay? So this is the workflow I suggest you to do this semester, okay? Create a folders on your desktop called IMSE 685, Spring 2021 semester, and copy all the file you download in this folder. And then you can access your Jupyter Notebook that way. And you save in that way. So majority of a student for the first couple of times, they download their Jupyter Notebook, they download their the exam or quiz we're going to have on Thursday, and then work on it, and all of a sudden forget where is that. Usually, by default, if you're using Chrome, by default is a downloads folder. Make sure you copy it into that IMSE 685 working folder you have, and then start it right there. Question for me? Is this too much?
I mean, I don't have any questions on this. All I can say is my requirements TXT folder hates me. And it doesn't exist apparently.
Oh, we'll talk about that one more time in a few minutes in the Windows environment. How's that?
Okay, cool.
Doctor, I have another quick question.
Sure.
Will we be using the directory, or sorry, the terminal a lot this semester? I have my my IMSE 685 folder saved in a pretty long directory. Would you suggest just putting it on the desktop so it's a little faster?
In the what directory?
Well, it's just in a lot of, it's a subfolder of a lot of different subfolders, just how I have my computer organized. But to get to that directory through the terminal, I'd have to do a whole lot of the CD things to get to that correct directory. So are you saying you should just save it on the desktop?
We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
It is probably easier just for now, for this semester, for your convenience, put it into your home folder or your desktop, either way. Okay. And I'm actually doing exactly the same like you. I have on the Dropbox folder, under classes, under spring 2021 semester, I have 3-4 layer, which pretty much people's organizing freak like to do, but and it is doable. Okay, I will show you in a minute how to do that.
Okay.
Question. Another question before I move on to the.
Dr. Wu, yeah, this is Jansen Penny again. As like a final check to see if like everything that we worked after going through all those steps, at the end of my terminal, I got like a hashtag all requested packages already installed. Is that like a good sign that everything worked? And like, is there like any way where
we will show you in a minute how to test them? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
And how to test all these I will gradually test them in a sense. But for now, I want everybody to install the default software altogether. And if it's not working, we figure that one out. Okay. But now I'm going to leave this and go to the Windows environment I have. This is one of the Windows environment. Cool. Let me do that. Yeah. Come on, give me a break. Okay. So now we have one of the Windows environment. This is actually one of the machine in the lab. Again, I want to show you, I already have several virtual environment created, just like we went through the process last Thursday and today in Macintosh. Okay. And what I need to do is go back to the command prompt one more time. You know how to get to this command prompt. Make sure you go through the Anaconda direct folder, which is I have right here. So go to Anaconda prompt, okay? And you can create an Anaconda prompt for your own environment as well in the folder in the Anaconda Navigator. So I'm going to do that over here. So here is the things. I start with the base. I'm going to start activating my own the new environment I've just created. Conda activate. What is that? My MIS environment. Is that okay, everybody? This is so far is okay. And then some of us say, oh, I have this MIS folder on my desktop, and I can, for DOS, it's using dir. I can see all the folder and file. And you see the dir right here represent a directory. If they don't have a dir, means that's another file. Okay? Question for me.
Yeah, I'm doing that, and then my requirements.txt folder is not showing up. How do you get your requirements.txt to show up in there?
This is your home directory. You see that? This is your C :/users/chw, which is my home directory. If you put it on your,
looking at mine, I have that, and then but mine has a PS in between the my like in my MIS environment, and the C there's a capital P capital S. That's supposed to be
Oh,
there.
that's no problem. That's just a person thing. It's just how your prompt looks like. But this is usually has your, and if you do not know, sorry. And you can see that what is like, and also you can do in the DOS prompt. Okay, make sure this is going to your home directory, and you can test that what is your home directory looks like. This is for PC version, okay, PC version. And this is my home directory so far. And then what I do is make sure you start your command prompt from the Anaconda prompt. Don't using regular DOS prompt. They don't load this environment for you, okay? So if you just happens to have your requirement.txt file on the desktop, all you have to do is change the current directory, change the current directory into the desktop. So you see the desktop is a subfolder in your home directory. You can, very similar to Macintosh, your home directory, including a folder called desktop. So I changed that to desktop. Everybody see what I'm doing? Am I doing a dir? And you can see that I have that, what? Requirement files on my desktop. Did that make sense? And then now you are in the same directory like you have in the requirement.txt. You are in the same directory, which means you are currently in the user chw desktop directory, and the same directory you have that requirement.txt file, and you are ready to import the library. Type pip, install. I'm repeating this, okay? Requirement, and then you can hit enter and install all the required library. It will guarantee you gonna work.
I don't have a desktop in my user directory.
Okay. Do you have a directory called OneDrive?
Yeah, I've also got documents.
So you change to the OneDrive, your desktop should be in your OneDrive directory. This is the people who install the Microsoft Office. They move their desktop into OneDrive, so back it up all the time, which is not a default setting. Okay, that's easy. Question.
Dr. Wu, this is Connor Brandley, and I have a quick question for you. So, on one of the first steps where we had to type in conda activate my MIS environment, it gave me an error message saying it failed to create the temporary directory. Is there anything you'd suggest on how to fix that?
I have no idea, because and that means you probably don't have the writing permission to your laptop somewhere.
Gotcha.
Now, you the system administrator on that computer?
I believe so.
Or your disk is run out of space. All right. Question for me so far. I have a few environment, starting talking about the Jupyter Notebook. Wait a second, where's my Jupyter Notebook? Okay, so I'm going to start. Let's see. No. Why is this? Okay. shrink this a little bit so I can see the bottom. Okay, I have the Anaconda right here, starting up, and I'm using my environment. Go back to the home. I have Jupyter Notebook, haven't installed yet. I need to install that. Okay, Jupyter Notebook install. I should probably just run Jupyter Notebook. You will see that actually by default, if you launch the Jupyter Notebook within the Anaconda Navigator, by default, it starts with your home directory, which is, in our case, is, sorry, this one, in user CHW, not the desktop. d ... means going up one level, okay? So 1 ... means the current directory. 2 ... means one directory up. This is stand for both Macintosh and Windows, okay? So this is exactly the content I have in my home directory, looks like this. And the Jupyter Notebook looks like this. If I want to go to my desktop, I can go to there, and you see that I only have one file called requirement.txt over here. And I suggest to some of you to create a directory right here, and you can new a folder, call folder, yeah, and call it, and then put all your stuff right here, okay? So looks like it's frozen.
Haha, I've succeeded in locating my requirements.txt.
Okay, good, good. This one is dead. First, give me a sec. I mean, re-get it in. See what happened. All right, I'm coming back for that. After I initiate Jupyter Notebook, let me bring it back here. It will come into here as a Jupyter Notebook, okay? So this is starting with my desktop in that sense, and I'm going to show you, and once it's done, the Jupyter Notebook, I can close one more time. it will automatically close. But if I wanted to, for example, I have my folder maybe in C, and I create a new folder, okay. Let's do it with the Windows File Explorer so you can see. Okay, so this is my PC. For some of you, maybe creating your own folder outside your home directory. You have a full control of your computer. You have a Dropbox. You have OneDrive, and you create your new folder. Let me do a new folder right here and call IMSE 685 Spring 21 semester. Okay. So if I have on my C root directory, so if I do dir here, now I can see that folders. I'm a C685 Spring 2021 semester. What do I do how do I start? I want to every time start the Jupyter Notebook within this folder. So I'm going to change my directory to 685. Okay, I don't have to type the whole thing, just hit the tab key, it will automatically complete for you. And you see that right now is empty, okay? So what's your current directory inside this folder? All you have to do is type Jupyter Notebook from here. It will start a version of a Jupyter Notebook's web server for you within that any directory you want, and then you can work within that directory. Did that make sense at all? Okay, this is the one of the questions student just asked about this. We can start Jupyter Notebook in any of the directories since you're already familiar with this. If no question after you've done, you can new a Jupyter Notebook right here, Python 3 Jupyter Notebook. Okay, and you can rename it as first test. Try not to using the space for your file name for the Jupyter Notebook. So using big title, I'm sorry. You need to change this to Markdown. So if you do a prompt, it will show this is a big title. Okay, if you come back here, you're using two prompt. This is title, and you're using three prompt. Small title. You hit Shift Enter one more time. It will execute it. It show you different level of title font. Is it okay? And then you can type any kind of Python, say. All right, so this is the way we're going to exercise this semester, okay? And when you want to actually save your file, you just have to save this and click on the Save button here. And if you go back to the previous one, you should probably see this file is already saved right here inside my IMSE 685 Spring 2021 folder. And then if you want to quit this file, don't just close this tab, okay? And you should do is actually save and haul the shell. I would explain this a little bit. Close and then you quit this file that way. So let me show you what's going on if you just simply close the tab. You load this notebook, and then you just close the tab. What do you see? That you see this file still have a green color over here, green color over here. The green color represents the file still running even though you close it. So what do? You basically running another copy of Python compiler in the background for this Jupyter Notebook file. And then you go to the running tab over here and you see this particular notebook still running. So what do? And using the Python 3 compiler, all you have to do is do the shutdown over here to conserve your memory. Right now seems nothing, but later on when you have multiple Jupyter Notebook open for your homework and project assignment, you probably have 5 or 10 Jupyter Notebook turned on. If you turn it on, not close it properly, it consumes all your computer memory. So make sure you turn them down properly, and so your laptop is not going to run out of memory. Especially, I know most of you are senior students, and your laptop probably is in its last leg before you graduating. So be careful how to conserve your resources and make sure you work efficiently. Later on, some of our project will be pretty huge, require millions of data record. Many of your laptop will not be able to handle it. Okay? Any question for me so far? Did I forgot anything? So today we go over how to configure the laptop, configure your Anaconda, and how to start the Jupyter Notebook within any directory, introduce how to change directory to your home directory, okay? Change to your desktop, and some of you have a desktop in a different place, most likely in your OneDrive subfolder. So these are the things we go over today. I'm going to leave the last 5 minutes for your question. We go over 45-minute session today, but I want to have some time for you to ask general question. If you have an individual error message, condition, you're welcome to contact me after class or during my office hour, and just send me a note, say, hey, can we go over my installation? I help 3, 4, 5 students to get it going this morning. So anybody have any question? If not, you're welcome to leave